Tech shit, do the projects, making whatever was in my way.
Do it in the car. I can't even give you no intro.
Please, thank you.
You know what I'm saying? Can't even give you no intro.
We don't need no
Two
hook.
got a joint. Two gonna hit me off with the adapter in a minute. So this is homegirl. She do, what's the name of your show again, sis?
Thinking outside.
Thinking Outside the Box. She invited us to a show, Dang.
Nelly
Okay.
Yoga Fitness. That's my name.
What's the name?
What is it?
I'm Nelly Yoga Fitness.
Nelly Yoga Fitness?
Yes.
That's what you are on IG?
That's who I am on IG.
And that's
Nelly
just who you
Yoga
are. Why you-
Fitness.
Come over and sit down with us for a second. What are you doing right now, Nelly Yoga Fitness?
Chilling with y'all now.
You our first
I
guest.
came here
right
to
now.
pee for 2 seconds.
Well, now you a guest.
And now we're guests.
Now you a guest. This is how we do.
2 shows in one day.
Two shows in a day?
I mean, let's go.
Who show you do earlier?
The Authentic Philosophies
Alright.
with Lucci and I forget the other lady's name,
That's all right.
but you know.
We
We
saw
family.
love.
We all G. We all G fam.
Right.
We all G fam. I have been seeing you, big bro.
Hey, look, man, we
I am very
easy to
familiar
find.
with your face,
I'm easy to find. I
Mr.
don't hide.
Fox 29 guy.
Yeah,
Let's talk about it.
You know what I mean? I
talk about
watch
it.
you every morning. I know what you
Appreciate
about.
that.
You know what I mean?
Appreciate that.
So I'm honored to be in this hot seat right now.
Listen, I'm
I'm a
honored.
fan.
I'm honored that you was here to come join
I'm a
us, man.
fan, yo. I'm a
Look, I'm
fan.
regular Joe out here just moving around.
Regular Mike.
Yeah, your regular Mike, man. Y'all are rock stars, man.
No, you.
put-
I
I
mean,
put
we all
y'all on
are.
TV,
All the G
you know what
family.
I'm
We
saying?
all rock stars. That's how the G Shop make you feel.
So what's your show? Your show is
Think outside the
Think
box
Outside the
every
Box.
Thursday from 3 to 4.
okay.
And it's Village Conversations. That's what I call it. Thinking outside the box, Village Conversations with me. And I like to have random people on there from all walks of life, all ages, all abilities.
what's up.
What was your
all
last week's
backgrounds.
show about? Just to give us an
So
example.
listen, thank you for
All right,
bringing it up.
hold on 1 second. Let's just start the show, right?
Start the show.
All right, look, y'all. We want to
Show
welcome
already
y'all to
started.
Over a Drink, man. I would play an intro, but I left the
and we got
dongle
drinks?
out in the car. Yeah.
Oh, we got drinks.
I left
Thank
the
you.
dongle in the car, and
Thank
Dave
you.
don't want me to play an
At
intro.
all.
But Took, if you got a dongle, man, I don't give a
Don't
shit.
worry about
what
it.
Dave
Don't
says.
worry about it,
Play
too.
intro.
Don't worry about it.
Hey, and look, man, we got first of all, we got super producer Damon Delphi in the building.
Hey, shots
We always
fired.
celebrate Damon.
Big up.
There's that guy.
Big up.
And then we got the sister. Tell them again who you are.
I am Nelly, everybody, and I think a lot of you are familiar. You just asked me about my last episode. I'm up to 310 views on my last
Tell 'em, Nelly.
episode.
Tell them, Nelly.
And I'm less than 2 months in on my podcast.
This is what I'm talking about.
Big
Getting
things are growing.
Big things are growing.
Things are growing.
And she represents the island.
After the island.
Yes, I'm Jamaican by default.
Nice.
Hey, that's all right. I'm Trin American.
Hey,
That
hey,
happens.
hey,
You know what I'm saying?
hey, listen.
That happens.
No, that's ain't nothing wrong with
Hey,
it.
look, man. So look,
What is this?
you get to hang with us. We get about to crack a drink. Hey, dang, you gotta.
Well, my Eagles gonna play tonight, so I'm feeling fired up anyway. I'm an Eagles fan.
Our Eagles. We
you say?
on the same squad.
Oh,
Our
I was about to
Eagles.
say,
Yeah.
wait a minute.
Yeah,
I see the green.
Damn, more
see
Eagle
the
repped
green.
out.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
You didn't say anything
What do you
though.
want me to do?
who are you? Who you repping?
Look, I'm a general.
He's not from Philadelphia.
That ain't got nothing to do
See?
That
with
shouldn't
it.
have nothing to do. You know how many people from Philly ain't Eagles
I'm just
fans, and
giving
I don't
you-
understand that.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you
I'm
what it
just
is.
giving you a hint. You said, who is he? He's
I'm gonna tell you
he's
what
not
it is.
Philadelphia.
Right? I'm not a sports.
Are you
Exactly.
from New York?
Yes,
I hear it.
but I don't
I
follow.
grew up in
any-
Connecticut. That's why I'm like,
See what I'm saying?
I hear it.
So I don't follow any sport like.
not even your New York.
Nah, I don't give a
Well,
shit.
yeah, when the Giants are losing, he's not following them.
Right.
Right?
There's no reason, right?
That's
They
what I'm
lose,
saying.
Right now,
Exactly.
I mean, I followed them.
I'm just
Don't
giving
be
you-
don't be a
I'm giving you
bandwagon
hints.
fan, and then when they start winning, then you want to be at their Super Bowl.
I'm definitely a bandwagon kind of guy. I'm giving you
Call him out.
hints.
I was 80s, 90s Knicks guy. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like,
Okay.
Still
you know
trying.
what I'm
Okay.
saying? Like, once John Starks retired, there was no reason for me to pay attention.
So you just
anymore.
not into sports then?
No, but I watch because I
He's
like
into
the
winning
energy.
sports, not
Wait,
like
hold on a second.
not
You a
like
better.
team.
You bet? You like to
on.
bet?
No, I don't bet. Hold on a second, Dane. I follow the Eagles because you can't be in Philly and not follow them,
I
right?
gotta go live on you.
Because cats stop you and be like, yo, what do you think about the Eagles? Like, motherfucker, I ain't watched the game last night. But that you gotta be ready for that question, right?
Here we go.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go.
Here we go. Yo, you late, B.
Ooh. Hey.
Listen, you don't know what it took this lady to get here. You don't know what it took her to get here.
Hey,
Hey, look.
this is why.
At 4 that just ended when I was outside.
This is why I quit every week. You know what I'm saying? Because he started barking at you like you ate, and it's like, yo,
I'm gonna get out this lady's seat. I'll make that seat.
All right, hold on. We're gonna finish up with you real quick. But anyway,
there's a fourth mic.
There's a fourth mic.
Okay.
Two can bring it. We'll get another mic.
There's a fourth mic. And
I follow. I like the vibe of the city when the Eagles win.
Oh, for sure.
When the Sixers win.
Oh, for sure.
So I'm a
Everybody's
fan
nice.
on the strength of that alone, right?
Right.
But to pay attention and to give it a whole lot of my time and my energy and my thought process.
You're not a real fan. That's fine.
Nah, I'm just not a fan.
I don't know if I can really have this conversation with
Look,
you.
I'm just telling you where
I've been trying to tell you that for the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, I'm just telling you. I'm just
Yeah.
giving you
This is Nelly. All right.
I'm Nelly. I have a podcast on Thursdays called Think Outside the Box here at the G Shop. I would love to have y'all on my
And what's
podcast.
your Instagram?
Nelly Yoga Fit. I have 4 actually because I'm an
Is it
entrepreneur. I'm a
N-E-L-L-Y or
Yes.
I-E? Thank you.
Why?
Nelly Yoga
N-E-L-L.
Fitness.
Yes,
I am
indeed.
going to follow you right now. All right, now let's get to
Dopeness.
who was your last show? Who was on it?
So
What was
my
it all about?
last guest, her name was Patrice. She is just a family friend of mine, awesome girl, spiritual person, mindfulness person, and she had a lot to bring to the conversation. So she hit me up and was like, I want to be on your show. I couldn't believe it because normally she's a little introverted. But to date, she has the most views on all my podcasts
So
so
what
far. I
you-
started in
What you
August.
talk about?
Yeah.
Oh man, we talked about
You got a
everything.
preference?
Nah, I'm an alcoholic a little bit. Don't judge me because I do fitness, but you know.
It's all right.
I like libations and spirits,
I don't have a.
you know. So you're a wine guy.
Well, no,
Are you a wine
everything? But
connoisseur?
I have another shoot.
Do we
after
have
this.
a bottle opener?
Yeah.
Oh, and
Come
he's
prepared.
prepared.
Come prepared. But I have a shoot
Fake
after,
bartender.
so we couldn't go too heavy
hard,
with the
too
drink.
ham.
Yeah,
But we gotta pick one because
I
we
got extra
we
responsibility.
already 4 minutes in. We
I
gotta
know.
figure out
So
what
what
we
do you
drink.
like?
Well, crack on both. It's a lot of
one at a
us.
time.
I'm gonna let
Do one at a
See how
time.
much of an alcoholic I am?
Yeah,
Crack on
yeah.
both.
We do one at a time. Now, they both got good ratings. Like they both
Okay.
got 90s and 92s. Dang.
Hey,
Okay, now pronounce
So-
that. What that say?
can't do it.
What it is?
Can't do
What
it.
that is?
Bosquet?
Don't know French.
Bosquet?
Probably Bosquet.
Okay.
Probably.
Yes,
Bosquet?
because the T is
You wanna go with
probably
the Bosquet?
silent.
Bosquet.
Or what is
They're
this?
both French. So I
both
don't know.
French.
They're both Bordeaux.
So you being bougie right now.
Oh,
Getting
yeah, that's
wines that we can't pronounce.
Yeah, that's what we
Hit
do.
decline on that. I don't know who that is.
Alright.
They call me.
back later.
man.
Yeah, right now we busy right now.
Or we can answer it on that.
Nah, we not doing that. Probably bill collector.
It's out of state.
I'm all for answering on air if you want to.
No, I want everybody to know what bills I owe right now.
All right, we'll start with the Bosquet and then we'll
All right,
see
let's
where it
start
goes
with the
from there.
Bosquet. I'm with it. So,
Was that?
have y'all ever tried yoga?
What's that?
I have tried.
Oh, yeah,
yoga.
I have.
You have done yoga before?
For sure,
How
yeah.
about you? I rise look like a yoga.
No,
Oh,
I've done
yogi.
yoga.
And also,
You say
there's,
you played yogi?
there's some yoga incorporated
Well,
into my
they just really
workout.
want to talk to you.
Yeah, but they're not gonna get me right now.
Like I really like Pilates and yoga good for stretching.
Yes. Well, actually, I just want to let you know I do yoga for my mind first.
Okay.
I do yoga for my mental health. Mental illness runs in my family. From depression, anxiety, schizophrenia, bipolar, you name it, Alzheimer's, dementia, any matters of the mind. That's the reason why I do it. And I've been practicing yoga for 11 years now. I'm certified.
Nice with it.
I am. I don't like to brag, beat my toot, I'll beat my own horn, but I've been practicing for a
Got
while.
that fire downward dog.
Yeah, I
I'm
got a
saying?
fire headstand. I can do some
Warrior
stuff.
pose on
Some
fleek.
things.
I'm like,
I can do some things. That's okay. If you haven't tried yoga with me, and I just want to put that out there, if you guys are available on Sunday, we're doing yoga in the G Shop on Sunday.
On football
Yoga in the
Sunday?
G Shop.
On Sunday.
On football Sunday?
Sunday.
Before football. Let's go. We're gonna call it church
What
at the
time?
G Shop
What time?
Oh man.
at 11:30.
11:30.
Just an hour session, just a little,
So
you
you
know.
get out just in enough time to catch the 1 o'clock game.
Yep. That was the
Sounds like
plan.
my dad's
That was the whole reason why we orchestrated it the way we
You gotta
did.
rush on out of here.
My
Catch
dad.
the 1 o'clock game.
Yeah.
My dad.
Well, no, because the game right here.
That's
we ain't
true.
got to
You
go
got
nowhere.
you right here.
Because the G Shop got the game right here.
That's true.
I like my couch though. I really
Well, that's
love.
fine. But guess how good you'll feel after a session with me and you go home fully relaxed,
I've been
ready
trying
to
to tell
start
Mike
the
to
week.
work out a little more. You know what I'm saying?
And I'm a certified personal fitness trainer too.
We just had a whole conversation about like cardio and why it's good
I'm
for
a
you.
certified personal fitness trainer. I can get you right. I work at the
This
Y
is
at
you,
51st and Chestnut.
This is how you get to Miami in shape, Mike.
I might have to show up.
You
I'm
might.
telling you, the Y, first of all, you can get a membership for free if you got the right health
Yes,
insurance.
yes, indeed.
So I used to go to the step classes at the Y. The
Nice.
hip hop step classes, they were
Yes.
so much fun.
54 for Chestnut is a
Nope.
little too far.
51st.
Same shit.
It's a Y in your neighborhood somewhere.
It's just a little too. Yeah. It's one close to me.
Nah,
Yeah.
man. When
But
you
I'm
on the
just
main
saying, I'm
line,
not
yo,
going
it's
to,
been a
like,
while.
There's Y's in the main
Well,
line.
you don't have to come there. I have
workout
my own
is too far of a drive
independent
for me to drive.
practice.
Where else you got? Where else
She's
you
a businessman.
I'm independent.
Exactly.
Your
So
backyard, if you
business.
want it,
You just
in your
wherever-
backyard.
Wherever there's an open space,
I'm there.
we down with
Because
dog.
I'm trying to bring my brown faces to the mat.
I dig it.
I
dig it. I'm here for that.
I'm also an advocate for bringing yoga into our schools. So I had the opportunity to teach yoga last year at Hardy Williams Charter School. Shout out to Hardy Williams, my kids there. And those kids need it. Like our neighborhood, our communities really need it. And that was profound for me to bring that element into the high school and to get the feedback that I got from those students
little
was
toast.
dope.
Cheers.
Cheers.
To news.
Nelly, welcome to the show.
Yes.
I Rise, back again.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
So here's how this show works. We got to learn a little bit about you, which is awesome. But this show works like we just kind of have topics, a list of topics that we just kind of run through.
Okay.
And we all like kind of talk about it and over a drink and just talk about
So
it.
if you got time, you want to hang, you
I'm
go.
here.
You want to hang, you can hang.
There. I seize opportunities as they come.
So then we get into the topics.
Whoa, powerful.
Right.
I literally just came in here to pee, y'all. I was on my way home. I live in West
I don't
Philly.
believe it.
My husband is waiting for me to come home and watch the game. And I stopped here to pee.
You don't have to cook, do you?
Nah, thank
All
God.
right, good.
Thank God.
Good, because I don't want to.
No.
I don't
So
want game time to.
what's your game time like spread like? What do you like? Is it food? Is it just like what's going on? What's your area like when you're watching the game?
I'm focused. I'm tuned in. Like I don't want a bunch of people talking.
Oh, she
I need
all the way
Phone's
in.
going silent, right?
I'm all the way
in.
in.
She all
I was
the way
out there when we were in the cold.
I dig it.
I was out.
Yeah.
Let's talk
I'm
about it.
I'm not a when we losing, I'm not a fan now.
Yeah.
I rock with my Philly teams.
Up,
Win,
down,
lose, or
up,
So
down.
are
draw.
there snacks? Is it food? What's around you? What's happening?
Everything. Like I don't mind
like
being
it's
around
wings,
good
it's the
people, but I
O's,
don't
it's
like
like-
watching. It don't matter because I'm a fat girl on the inside, so it just depends on what I'm in the mood for. I
what's
don't
the-
always like game food. Like I don't
Alright.
always want wings
Dig it.
All right.
and potato skins.
I dig it.
I think I'm gonna do that tonight just because it's like,
Which one?
you know, I don't know what kind of wings I want yet. I just need them fried hard. Don't give me no chewy chicken flats or
What about you?
drums.
I'm a drums too. People be like, give me flats.
I don't understand that.
Flats
Like,
too much
on
work.
there.
Too much
And
work.
it's too much work.
Too many veins.
Yeah, and it's-
I just want the drum.
I haven't.
That's it. I'm with you on
I
that.
don't eat chicken, but like, what's the deal with all
You're
flats?
not a black person.
I don't know what the deal is with all
Nah,
flats.
that's just a man.
He's a very black person. He's a vegan.
That's good.
I
Up top.
ate chicken
Well, he-
for like
yeah,
a
he's
portion of my
eating
life, and then I stopped. But all I'm saying, like, I don't.
No.
Nah, not really.
Okay.
Not really.
That's what's up.
Not really.
I admire that. As
Not
a
really
wellness
me.
person.
Hold on. Not really.
That's
me.
not a real answer.
Right.
Cheesesteak every now and again.
But like,
Nah, it
do
means.
you look for stuff that
You eat
tastes
fish?
like chicken?
Yes.
You got the
That's what vegans do.
Yeah.
They eat that tofurkey.
Oh man, that's horrible.
You like I went to a vegan restaurant. I forget the name of it. It was a Hip City.
Hip City Veg.
Hip City Veg.
Like
They make
fast
chicken
food.
sandwiches. It's
Fast
fake
food
chicken and
vegan.
fake burgers. You like
Yeah.
that?
I mean, I don't mind it,
Okay.
but that's not like.
It was good, though.
That's not the
It was
essence of like
They
being
do a good
vegetarian.
job at making fake food.
Tastes good.
Being vegetarian or being vegan is not about eating fake fake chicken. It's about like not eating the chicken.
What is tofu? It's tofu. What is tofu?
Tofu is not really good for you, so I don't mess with it.
What is
Look,
that?
Dame took me and we had a Beyond Burger.
And the bread and everything,
It
didn't
was
it?
probably one of the worst experiences of my life.
Come on,
I
man.
like Burger King's Beyond.
Well, he also
Burger.
hates burgers.
Well, first of all, there's two issues,
Well,
right? I
there
don't
you
eat red
go.
meat, right? So I didn't like it from that standpoint because it tasted like red
Red meat, right.
But then the science behind it was fucking with my head, right? Because I'm like, yo, well, how does this?
Because it wasn't well done, it was still bloody
It was
on the
still
inside.
bloody on the
It was like-
Right!
Hey, man.
It's not supposed to be an animal, so why is it bleeding?
2022. You want some fake shit? Get some real fake shit. Don't get get the real shit.
Yeah,
And
that's
the Beyond
crazy.
Meat is the real
don't know
shit.
about
But it's
all
not for
that.
every day. It's not for every
Because I
day.
don't trust scientists and the government, so I don't know about all that either.
Preach, sis. Preach, sis. Preach.
All right, so yo,
All right, let's get to the list.
let's
What we
get
got
to
on
the
the
list.
Dave?
Well, sadly, right before we went on last Monday, P&B Rock murdered,
Yeah.
assassinated, murdered
Right.
in South Central California
Yeah.
at a Roscoe's Chicken and Waffle. That was right before we went on, so like we came kind of off the air to
they
hear
caught
that,
news.
and it was just like, what the fuck? But at the same time, it's like,
What the fuck?
yeah, man, like,
Like,
what the
it's
fuck,
just
yo?
too much, B.
I said that to my kids. Like, I just was like, other rappers that died, you know, shout out to Biggie. You know what I mean? I was affected by this, but then when what happened to P&B Rock happened, that hit home for me because he wasn't just a rapper to me. Because I live here, I know his family members. I didn't even know I knew his family members.
Look at that.
I'm following people on Instagram that are posting him. This is their cousin. This is their nephew. This is their, just little bro, whatever. So for me, he's family, and I didn't know him.
Right.
Personally, I have cousins that went to school with him, high school with him. So he's a human being and he's ours. And it's sad. I feel like we have a culture where people will rather record you dying than to call 911.
Well, that's true.
That part.
Because would he still be alive if someone was more willing to aid in his preserving his life rather than recording his
You know
death?
what? And on that note, like somebody like put the phone down, like go and do something. But like that's one person recording, but like again, would he still be alive if somebody didn't fucking assassinate him at a fucking Roscoe's Chicken and Waffle?
Problems with the
You know
guy
what
who
I'm saying?
shot
Like,
and the guy who videotaped.
The first thing I said was he escaped all the violence going on in
Yeah.
Philadelphia
Yeah.
to be assassinated at a Roscoe's in LA.
Yeah.
What
Yo,
the fuck? That's
look,
exactly
man,
what I said.
like,
Like that's crazy
Some
to
shit
me.
you can't run from, right? Like violence is violence, like no matter where you at, right? And
Yeah.
so and I always laugh because I left New York and the worst ass whooping I ever got in my life happened in Easton, Pennsylvania.
Wow.
I'm like, I never saw this shit coming.
Especially in Easton.
Dude, like it was like
All
the whole projects
Easton.
came out to whoop my ass. I'm like,
yeah.
holy shit, where the
Those
hell are all these
projects
people coming from? You know what I'm saying?
I
I'd
was
have
gonna
been-
ask you what you
You
were
know what I'm
doing.
saying? And it's like,
Pennsylvania.
yo,
Blue
so
collar state. We
this is
got
what I'm saying.
mad, angry blue collar
That's what I'm
workers
saying, right?
and
So
KKK.
it don't really
Talk
matter
about
where you at or where you from, right? Like the violence is everywhere.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you leave places thinking you getting away from it, and nah, B.
EA cracking up.
I'm glad that you said you mad at the man that killed him because a lot of people keep
Yeah.
talking about the girlfriend.
Oh, come
And
on.
And that's so unfair to
We're
her.
not even going like
It's unfair
that.
on
It's not.
That's
level.
so
It's
unfair.
so unfair.
Like that girl is grieving and y'all want to blame her for post. Like
You know,
I post
but-
my location. I'm a party promoter. I like to
But-
tell people where I'm at sometimes.
But that's like
Like
that.
you can't
that's,
fault that girl for
That's
doing
the
that.
culture shit of
posted
like
his-
that's
he
that
posted
hate
his
culture
own
shit. Like
location.
we always looking to point a finger at somebody, but we ain't never pointing a
The
finger
right
at the
person.
right
Yeah.
person.
At the right person.
Like my
Yeah.
beef is like, yo, man, this fucking cat came in the middle of the day and assassinated this dude in the middle of the restaurant.
Yeah.
And the
Under
sun
the
is
guise
up.
of
But
a-
they even said it fair.
The guys were robbery. Like, yo,
That's
Who did this? And
I'm
what
saying.
government?
right. This is what I'm saying. Like, my problem is like, how did we
Told you I
get to
don't
this
trust
point in society where this dude feel like kind of comfortable
You
to
wanna-
walk up to somebody at a breakfast spot?
Because when somebody
is.
with a higher authority tell you to go ahead and do it, and it's not gonna be no
It's the
consequences, maybe
same-
you can.
It's the same reason why between Memorial Day and Labor Day we average over 8 people shot per day.
Right.
Like
Yo,
that ain't
we
got
had
nothing to do with the government. That got
at
to
least
do with like
1,700 shootings in the
Yeah.
city this
There
year.
was one just now on my way up here, right in my neighborhood. Kid
So,
you not, came up with
Make
citizens
that
death.
1,701.
Okay, like kid you
Easily.
not.
I like
easily.
it's insane because we talk about the murder rate, right?
Right.
So we had 385 murders or something like that, which is ridiculous. But when you talk about the shooting rate,
It's beyond ridiculous.
It's 1,700 plus people have been shot in this city since January 1st.
January. It's insane.
Like, this is
and
an
how many of them were
insane number.
teenagers?
That's not.
That's a whole nother
That's a whole
We
nother
had that
statistic.
discussion at the job.
That's
And
a
this was maybe.
Here's something to think about.
This was
How many of
early
them
summer.
where both of them were armed?
Right.
Right.
So
Right.
many
How many
were like-
times have we
And
had?
I'm not talking, and I
the
just
person
like
who
they're
did-
armed on some like, yo, you know what I mean? I got the gap because no, armed and like licensed
Like
to be
shoot
armed.
right.
Like people
Right.
people that have guns and are licensed to carry a gun and like are like they're ready. It's like, you know what I mean?
Dude,
Yeah.
but that's the environment that is,
Yeah.
is like, what are you gonna do, right? So if you're in an environment where gunshots are on the regular, you get armed because you
get
feel
armed,
like,
but-
yo, because I don't want to be a victim.
When you gotta be like, are those
I,
fireworks?
I definitely want my
problem
license to
is-
carry.
The problem is some of these cats who get, it's too easy to get a license.
It's too.
Yeah.
It's not too easy to get a license. Actually, they made it a little bit stricter.
I don't know. My daughter told me the other day.
Like,
she
it's
was
only like
"Dad,
$25 in the
Dad,
application."
It took me longer to find a parking space than it took me to pick up my gun license.
It's like $25 in the application.
Yes, no, but the application, because you answer any one question wrong, you're immediately denied. And then you have to appeal, and it takes 6 months to appeal. Take it from somebody who was denied the first time for being honest.
What did they
DA
ask?
was like,
Somebody
why-
upset you,
Right,
would you
right.
shoot him?
Yes!
That's the first problem.
The DA was like, why would you put that? I don't know what y'all going to go check in my history.
They ain't
so I
gonna check
answered.
nothing. They're so
Apparently
far
not.
behind.
Well, they check my son because he can't be licensed.
Yeah.
There's a downside to
Right.
getting your
They checking
license
these
because
days.
if you want to get a medical marijuana
here
card, you
smokes
can't
weed?
have.
Yeah, and that's why I'm not getting. I need my license to carry more than I need my. I've been smoking weed illegally
Anyway.
forever.
You know what I mean?
So I don't need a license.
Now
to
It's
do
only a
so.
matter of time
What are we
before it's
doing?
I don't need a license to do
It's
so.
only a matter of time before it's legal. And, you know, I had to let my card lapse because my daughter had her carrier's permit. And it's like, what kind of dad do I look like, right? Like,
You know, like the kind of dad that's trying to protect the home.
Like-
I mean, the kind of dad to keep his mind straight.
Yo.
You know what I mean?
Like
Like
you.
protecting the home.
like,
What you
yo,
mean?
baby, we got beef. I need you to come out.
Come here, baby girl.
Hey guys.
Oh,
baby girl.
This is our official guest right here, right?
Yeah.
I'm getting out the seat.
All right, well, come on in, man. We'll figure this out.
And just so you know, his daughter needed a carriage permit and they live in the suburbs. It's crazy.
It's
Wow.
crazy.
Well, listen, I
It's great. Hey,
appreciate y'all having me on.
Nelly, thank you for coming
Thank you,
through.
Nelly.
So when
I
is this
stole
show?
your seat every Thursday from 3 to 4.
Thursday.
Think outside the box.
Think outside the box.
Village
3 to 4. All
Conversations.
right, I'm gonna try to make it. That's a tough.
You're gonna make it.
No,
you just
I-
don't know
I'm
what
gonna
Thursday.
walk on. No.
Try is
I'm not
never gonna be
here.
the word
Right,
in your
I'm gonna
vocabulary.
make
You're
it.
gonna
You gotta
make
succeed,
it.
Mike.
You just
I'm
don't know
gonna
what
make
we.
it. I just
Trying
not,
to
I won't
try
be
it.
at
You
3
gotta
o'clock.
succeed.
That's fine.
But I will be a
Most of
walk-on.
the people that I hire as my co-hosts don't make it here at 3 o'clock. I'm punctual.
Hey, one of the people we hired as a co-host will make it on time.
Shots fired.
Shots fired.
I'm free flow. Let's go.
Nelly.
Rock before I
It's
get off
okay,
this.
though.
Appreciate you having me. That's my compliment,
I
Nelly.
Appreciate y'all. Y'all were so dope. I appreciate meeting
We
you.
coming through. We gonna hang
Yes,
with you on a
sir.
Thursday.
I hope
Soon.
so.
Soon.
I hope so. I'm gonna hit you up and talk trash if you don't.
All right.
So I'm gonna make you feel bad after a while.
Come on
You'll
in,
be
bro.
like, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go.
All right, we gotta get we got our official guest in the building.
We gotta get buttoned up now.
We gotta get buttoned. No, he wore a t-shirt, so you can relax.
I just want to say also, you see I Rise how like now you were hired.
You don't forget your phone.
That's a whole nother
Niggas start texting
conversation.
you when you hired.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
And
okay,
this is why I quit every week.
don't
Every
quit, James.
week.
Don't quit.
Hey,
Don't
I
quit.
realize every
I
week
bring
he
too
quit.
much to the table for this bullshit.
He
How
quit.
you doing, sir? Nice to meet you.
Doing well, man. Doing well.
Damn, it's a pleasure.
Joel.
Joe, Mike, nice to
Okay,
meet you,
good to
brother.
meet you.
Sister Irise.
All right.
How are you, Joe?
Nice to meet you.
All right, good to meet you.
So Joe, you got this Tech Core 2. Tech Core 2.
Don't lead it too well.
University
Don't
City.
leave. So what was the Tech Core 1? So we are not talking about.
There's no Tech Core 1.
Don't worry about it.
TOO, but the number two
Oh, is it
looks
like-
good.
no,
like
it's
a
two like-
tall-
It's the
No,
acronym.
It's like
I thought
squared.
the number two looks squared. Okay.
It's the acronym.
It's like Tech Core squared.
Okay, it's an equation.
Let's
All
talk.
right, talk to us about it real quick, Joe. Let's
Okay,
get us
so-
catch us up.
No problem. So the Core 2, Core CORE, computers plus opportunities plus resources equals employment times entrepreneurship. This will solve the black community problem, no doubt. starting salaries with STEM careers at least 50 grand. So the whole conversation about $15 an hour is, no reason to have it. I pay college students $15 an hour.
Right.
So by the time they're coming out, they're making $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 starting. So this is a true solution, not the only solution,
Okay.
but for those that pursue it,
It's a solution.
it is no
Pour that
cost.
man a drink for his solution.
You know what I mean? You drink wine? You drink wine?
I do.
Would you like to
If he didn't, he was going to
I was
today.
just at a winery on yesterday, man.
Yeah, where were you at?
Where was you at?
In Jersey. I cannot tell you the name. My lady took me, so I showed up.
There's a lot of them in Jersey.
I'm about to say, this one in Jersey makes a really good.
We did a train ride, got on the bus.
Why me and my sister?
Did a whole
Oh, you had a whole experience.
Yeah,
It wasn't
experience.
just, like I take my lady to the winery, we just pull up. Like,
Yeah.
baby, we just gotta have a couple drinks.
Okay.
But your lady planned it.
She
right?
planned it.
That's why there was a train involved.
It's the experience, man. You got to travel to get there. You appreciate the wine more.
No, I agree.
I just go to the
but,
food trucks.
but you know what I mean?
Appreciate it.
Us as dudes, we just pull up.
Exactly.
Chill.
So appreciate you coming
I'm
through,
a
man.
love-
Oh, damn.
I love a good red wine.
Catching up, huh?
I love a good red wine.
You ain't late on the
Why they
liquor.
pouring it? Like,
Never.
pour it. Tech court, like the equation.
So, I'll tell you like this. When I was back in high school,
Where'd you go to high school?
I went to Central High School.
Okay.
Okay.
See? We already
So-
talking about
That's a
brains.
2.5,
I'm 246.
2.4. Okay.
I'm 246.
See, I took it down. He look young.
So my freshman class, just real quick, my freshman class is when the women came into Central. So, we were there, we protested when they showed up, and then a week later it was like, how you doing?
Right.
That's hilarious.
But I get it.
So, but yeah, so I was in programs like this when I was coming up. And it's like the lowest cost way to just get success out of your kids. I mean, everybody one summer I was at Penn, one summer I was at Drexel, my last summer I was at Villanova, and I actually stayed there on campus for 4 weeks. The folks who I met when I was there, folks wanted to be pharmacists and engineers and lawyers and all that. And literally, it was like 100% success. So, when we look at the
Now,
community,
these folks you're talking about, these were high school students?
these were high school students.
Okay, that's
yeah,
just
these
checking.
black kids in Philly, coming out of West Philly, North Philly, Germantown, like, every place in Philly.
Right.
And but they put you through a lot of intensive, focused stuff during the summertime. So, you had to constantly write, and I hated it. I mean, when I was in second grade, they were going to leave me back because I couldn't read and write properly. Mm-hmm. So, I struggled through and all that. When I got into that program, they forced me to constantly write. I hated it. But I'm going to tell you, all that stuff I wrote, I actually did everything I said I was going to do. I said I was going to go to college for computer science. I did it. I said I was going to start a computer company. I did. So, helping you to just visualize what you want to do in the future in a constructive, positive way, it works. And I'm just trying to let us know, like, we had more solutions back in the 70s and 80s in Philly than we do now. We had AFNA. I was an AFNA student.
Okay.
I know a lot of people don't like him, but Michael Nutter was an AFNA student. And
Dude, they got to sit. Mike deserves more respect.
I have no problem with Michael Nutter.
Mike deserves.
He
Look,
just talks
I've
like a
never
cartoon character.
seen anybody. I went to and not to get off track, but Steve Harvey was doing a show at the Met one day, right? Oh no, at the Kimmel Center.
Okay.
He was doing his radio show at the Kimmel Center one morning. Michael Nutter called in. They sent me over there to shoot it. Dude, Mike started talking. The whole room started booing. Boom! It was insane.
What did he do?
Right? I don't know why they booed Mike. I've never seen him in front of a black crowd where he didn't get booed.
What did he do?
That's what all the black people asking. What did you do?
Right. But in 8 years of him being mayor, and I like Mike,
We knew it.
right? But I've never seen him in front of a black crowd where he didn't get booed.
Because they all want to know, what did he do?
And he,
What did Kenny do?
We knew what John Street did, though. At least if you was from North Philly, you knew what John Street did.
What did he do to deserve to get booed?
I don't know.
That's what I'm talking
I
about.
can't remember.
That's what I mean. Like, what did he
I'm
do?
sure he didn't drop a bomb on a bunch of houses. I'll tell you
That's what
that.
I'm saying.
I'll tell you
What
that.
did he do to
He didn't do
deserve
that.
to be treated the way he was treated?
I think how he went after Street's legacy when he was running for office is what
That
turned a lot of black
definitely-
people against him.
That
I dig
definitely.
But Streets, I mean, to be fair,
Watch your
And
mouth
you know
about
what,
North
Mike?
Philly, man. Watch
Hey,
your
look,
mouth.
hey,
Because
Dave.
North Philly stand behind John Street.
Listen,
John
Street had a great run.
took care of black Philly.
He had a good
a
run.
lot of people had a
Street.
great run with Street as well.
This is
Right?
true.
Am
This is
I
true.
making this up?
Hey, look,
And I'm
man.
not trying to.
You're not making it up.
I'm not like
Each
50
one-
Cent.
each
And
one
I'm
left
not
on,
on some,
right?
you know,
I
ghetto
reach back.
crime.
I
I'm just
reach back
saying.
and pull you up with me.
A lot of people had a good run with Street. So
I'm coming up, you coming up, Dave.
let's get back to.
All right, go ahead,
We don't want to get off track.
Yeah, look,
You start getting inside. He like, yo, I know all
This
this.
program under John Street.
This ain't what they told me I was coming on here for. All right, I'm sorry, man.
It's all good. It's all good.
So let's get back to Tech Core, man.
Absolutely.
So, what age group do you work with?
So traditionally, we go from kindergarten all the way through high school.
Wow,
We go
that's a
into
commitment.
college and into career. Like we stay with you getting that job. But for this fall, we've actually started a little earlier. We're starting at pre-K. So we're starting at the 4-year-olds through 7. We entered into the Lego First League, into the Discovery. It's called Discovery, and so they doing engineering, design, and things like that with the real little ones.
So how do people get their kids involved?
Real simple. You could go to register.techcore2.org. That's TECHCORE, the number 2.org. Every class or program you want to register, there is a discount code. We have a new mentoring program, which is for kids from 7th grade through 12th. That's every Saturday, 4 hours on a Saturday. You're having coaches or the computer science students, electrical engineering students. We actually have 3 professional adults who are also serving in the program. So I mean, you can literally be under a software engineer and get tutored. The mentoring program is totally free, so it doesn't cost you anything. So you just go
Yeah, I'm
on
like-
a
How old does the mentoring program? Like
He said
12.
12. Well, it's 12 years old or 7th grade.
But you have to be in the program to get into the mentoring program.
Well, you just go and register online.
Right.
So it's nothing complicated. The only thing we did, and we're going to insist people, so don't freak out. But what we are trying to do, one of the things we recognized this summer is that our young folks are not reading. Literally, they are not reading.
Old folks ain't reading.
Also, what do you do? Because like even I can admit myself, like I do.
I don't read enough.
I don't read enough.
No,
Yeah, I
for
stopped
sure.
reading.
Like
Sad.
you know,
we
like,
part of the problem.
like reading
Definitely.
and also
My
writing.
kids read.
Like,
That's required at
I don't
school.
know when the last time I wrote anything because of my phone.
Right,
I'm,
and that's key stuff that you're saying. But
I
let
like
me
that.
just throw this at you.
know what I mean.
A lot of people think, oh, my kid could just do computers because they play on the phone all day. Playing on your phone
It's not doing
does not
computers.
translate
Yeah,
that you actually have the real skills to use computers. And I'm going to tell you, the biggest thing, like if you want to go to school for computer science, stuff like that, you need reading comprehension.
Yeah.
And so when we have all these young folks that don't read, it makes it very challenging
about it.
for them to go to computer science and engineering and all these
Yes.
programs. And you say you want this job, like if you want that
Can't write
job
the
that
code,
makes
you can't read the
70,000 and
code.
you're 22, if you cannot read properly, it's going to be very difficult to get through that
get through,
situation.
yeah.
So, you know, if we look at like, I know when I was coming up, middle school, black kids, we read Native Son, we read
For
Black
sure.
Boy. We read,
Little
you
Richard
know,
Wright.
exactly.
Little Gordon
You
Parks,
would
Little
read
Learning
Malcolm X.
Tree.
You ask kids
I
today,
cheated, dude. I ain't read none of
they
it.
don't read nothing.
I'm just
Yeah.
being
No
honest,
Gordon
dude. I
Parks,
was
no
an
reading?
anti-reader,
No
man.
learning
Like,
tree?
I know they
no,
changed
they
the
had
reading
learning tree,
curriculum.
but I just didn't read it, B. Like,
I realized in
a kid,
school they
man, like,
changed
I'm
the
the kid
reading
he's talking
curriculum
about.
too.
Yeah.
Listen,
Like,
I
I'm the kid
hated
he's talking
reading.
about.
I was
Dude,
going to get left back.
I got left back. I'm the
love
kid he's
reading.
talking about, man.
And I had to go to I went to summer school in 2nd grade, thank God. You know, I got tutoring and all that. But this stuff you can do now so that our kids won't fall into that. And I'm telling you, like so many things in this world
That's something that-
would
I'm
be
sorry. Go ahead.
would be much simpler. Just with some basic literacy skills. And let's shout out. Look at what is it? You know, whether it was Tyler Perry or you could pick any of these Shonda Rhimes. These folks, just because they can write, they are signing contracts like
Right.
LeBron James.
Right.
$100 million. So if you willing to go get your body beat up,
Hey, yo,
because you
EA,
trying to
man,
make 10
mind your
million to 20
business.
million, why not write? Because then you could easily put all your friends down.
How about that?
Right.
How about that?
So, we're encouraging folks to read and write. And if you want to get a scholarship,
That's
we have
key.
a book. It's called 100 Amazing Facts of the Negro. You just got to read a couple chapters and write a summary. And if you can't do it, just say, I need help. And then when you come, we're going to help you out. But that's how
Oh,
you get
wow.
your scholarship.
Look at that. So
They
what
make
is
it too easy.
They
They make it too.
I
Question.
appreciate
I
that.
appreciate that.
You
Yeah.
plugged in. Like, we don't want you to have no excuses for why you can't get down.
With that, how many people have signed up this year?
So this year, so far, we got about 20-something folks. We're trying to get to over
They went
40.
through the whole process of.
Yeah.
Cool.
What is it?
Don't take that much time.
What's the fee?
It's no. For most of the programs, there's no fee. We have on most of our classes, it's the cost of the class is like $125, but we have a grant that we're using to subsidize
Gotcha.
that.
Right.
So you're paying $25.
Beautiful.
So it's all laid out.
It's all laid out.
It's all laid out.
Beautiful. Yo, I love
That
this.
Central.
I love this program, man. So when
Island Engineering and
Please.
Science, okay?
When does it start? So we actually start up this Saturday, September 24th. The first session is 11, and if you're in a class, it's just 90 minutes. So 11 to 12:30. We have a second session from 1 to 2:30. If you're in our mentoring program, it goes from 11 to 3.
and it's just every Saturday.
every Saturday.
Okay.
Yep.
When you're in U City,
Yep. University City.
So November 12th. Are there sessions? Because I see that this is it's 8 Saturdays. Is there a spring session also?
Yes, there is a spring session.
Okay.
oh yo, we gotta get you out of here. I need a younger co-host.
Super old, man.
Glad I got Outride in here. You want to age your mic out?
That's a shame.
Yeah, man, you aging out, bro. You were just like
You ain't let it go.
show executive.
I'm talking to our guest about how this is the first cohort. You might as well say it's 8 weeks.
Yes.
And there is a spring session.
Yeah, there's a spring, but the mentoring program actually goes
All year?
all year round.
Okay.
So they're going to come every Saturday.
All right.
And I know you said STEM, so what type of STEM? Because so I have a younger son.
Okay.
And we always try to push him to STEM, and he's like, I'm in the digital media and design. That's STEM too. I'm like, you know what? It is.
He's absolutely right.
I trained him up well. I try.
So I'll tell you so we're on the tech side of STEM. 'Cause,
Okay.
STEM is a bunch of things. So our base, our core is coding, which is really programming. We just call it coding now. So computer programming. We do robotics.
Robotics?
We're doing
My daughter.
we're doing robotics. We do video production. We do
He's interested in
video
that.
production. We do graphic arts.
He's interested in that.
And so those are our main core things. We'll touch on some operating system stuff.
Okay.
So the operating, we're using Chromebooks. Matter of fact,
Okay.
we're using Chromebooks. We actually there's a new, it's called Chrome OS Flex. So we are re-imaging old laptops into Chromebooks.
Okay.
So for students who may not have a computer at home, we can actually help them get a computer at home at
talk
no
about
cost for them. We're just trying to remove all the barriers. If you really want to enter the tech field, it is very doable. It's very possible. And again, you don't have to worry about $15 an hour. You can get great benefits. You can get skills. You can move out of Philly if that's what you want to do. And there are some disciplines inside the tech field in which there's zero unemployment. So they literally are buying people. Like they're offering you, come with us, we'll get you 10 grand up front and all that kind of stuff. So we're trying to introduce as many folks as possible to, this is a viable way. You can make a decent living. You can, get paid, go on vacations, do all that stuff that you want to do, and just don't have some of the challenges that a lot of our folks have. I mean, the reality in Philly is that, we are the largest largest big city of poor people. And those poor
Largest
people
poor
are us.
city.
Right.
We got whole families that make $30,000, the whole family.
How about it?
So, you can't, it's very challenging. That's why, I do a lot of mentoring, and I can't tell you how many young men have told me, Mr. Joel, the reason I'm doing X, Y, and Z is because I need the money. Because that family has not figured out a way to be able to make all the ends meet so that this young person isn't taking on this unnecessary burden, because they should not have that burden. So that, here is a realistic, viable way. This ain't, it ain't a scheme, a scam, it ain't none of that. And there's so many opportunities here in Philly. Like, did you know all of our universities actually have scholarships for black folks right here in Philly?
Yep.
That will take
I knew
advantage of.
that.
Yeah, that we don't take advantage of. I agree with you. You say you knew
I
that?
knew it. I take advantage. What? I didn't. What?
And then check it out for grad school. Like, we have a lot of folks say, I want to go become a lawyer, I want to become a doctor. Do you know if you go to either Lincoln or Cheney, graduate with a 3.5, you can get what's called the Bond Hill Scholarship. It pays for grad school.
So you said a 3.5, man.
3.5.
You know how hard it is to
A
rock
3.5 is achievable.
That's
It's achievable.
all
Okay.
B's and an A.
Right.
Right, I
That's
get it. I
achievable.
get it.
Right.
But
You
no,
just got to go there, do your
You just
homework
gotta
first,
do your
and then
work.
party.
You just
That's
gotta do your work. You just gotta
Right.
do
You
your
have to
work.
learn that first.
I think I
I didn't
graduated
learn-
with 3.2 and I didn't even try.
Nah,
So 3.5.
I didn't
you
get
should
that till grad school. I graduated grad school with a 3.4.
Maybe I had a 3.0. Like
Right.
I didn't get one of the.
I had a
the
3.0
sashes.
undergrad. I was like, woo, you made it.
Yeah, I got out with a 3.0, but I didn't get one of the sashes.
Yeah,
I didn't show up for a class. My
Yeah.
senior
I
sim.
I had a nigga, you made
You know
it
what I mean?
moment.
Yeah. I didn't show up for senior sim, so he gave me a D. He was like, I would have gave you an F, but it affected your graduation. So what are you gonna do?
Hey, you take what you can get.
Take what I can get. Right. You know what I mean? But look, man, I think this is a wonderful
Me
program,
too.
man. I'm so excited.
And this is
that
our
you're
8th
doing
year,
this.
man.
This is the 8th year?
8th year.
So how many kids y'all have put
Wow.
through the system so far?
Man, we've put through at this point probably a couple thousand. Wow, because we've
That's
been
amazing.
teaching, like before COVID, we were doing 300 to 400 kids a year. Keep in mind, we have a fall semester, spring semester, and in the summertime, man, we built an internship engine. So right before COVID, man, I had like 9 college. Most of my employees are college students, so I had like 9 college students on staff. So here I'm running that internship. We then ran our own high school internship. We're paying all the high school students. And then we were at like 8 or 9 camps around the city teaching in the camp. So we were at sports camps teaching. They,
That's
they
amazing.
playing ball, then they come in for an hour and a half, and we pull out the laptops, and they would get taught. Then they go
right.
back out there and do their thing.
So what do you do? Like, what's your job? Like,
Yeah.
how do you earn it? I know you said you started your own business. What's your
go.
He
business?
the money man.
Let's go,
I
Black
know,
Goose,
but I'm
man.
like,
So listen,
I'm
you know
like,
that?
like, you can't just give away all your time for free, right? Like, what you do? What you
Like,
do?
so,
He write them grant letters.
Like, I get it. What he do? I do
He write them grant letters.
he's like, so you make how much?
He took his IRA, a couple dollars here, put it into the program.
Tell them, you know what I did? How white you are?
You know what I'm saying?
No, I mean, look, I was passionate about this.
Let's go, Steve Jobs.
And so when I started, I put up my own money.
That's what's up.
In 2015,
I'm sorry,
I put
Joe.
up a few grand.
What's your last name, if you don't mind? I'm asking for a reason, because I don't want to say Steve Jobs. We got a whole Joel.
listen, Joel
We got a Joel
Wilson.
Wilson
Wilson,
here.
yeah.
Fuck Steve Jobs. We got Joel Wilson.
That's what I'm talking
You know what I'm
about.
saying?
Oh, Joel
Representation matters.
It does matter. It does matter.
And you know, just I've learned like the nonprofit system, and
That's
so
the key.
you know,
Key.
For sure.
Key.
And what a system it is.
Key fact.
I'm going to take a drink from my job.
Nah,
What a system it
nah,
is.
You need a program like a
Also-
class that just teaches people how to freak
I
the
just want
nonprofits.
to let's toast to like, hey, like I'm a big fan of people that like, you know, prove a concept. Said he put up his own money.
Right.
Cheers
I
to
know
that.
that's your lane,
because
man.
some people wait and they're like, oh, we'll just
Right,
get this
and
one
we're
thing,
thinking about
and then
who's gonna get
we're
this
trying to
and
get
who's gonna
this.
do that
They're like,
for
nah,
me.
let's just see how this works. So
and you know, it's and I think the other thing is because I am an entrepreneur. I've always I've never worked for anyone my whole adult life. Everything I've done is been me getting clients and getting them to pay my bill.
Mm-hmm.
So that's every car I've ever bought.
So
every
how it goes, is
property
what you're
I-
saying.
see that?
So
Mike?
that was
he
my
got cars,
mentality.
he got property.
That was my mentality
You know what I'm
in
saying?
running this nonprofit.
Dang.
It's
Okay.
the same
Relax. I'm just letting you know.
I see it.
There's ways to get to the.
I understand that.
Right.
I understand that.
So y'all having some conversations that I am unaware of.
No, we were having a debate in the car about people walking away from their jobs, but not being prepared to walk away from their jobs.
Got you.
And I said,
Yo,
so,
I
You
got
hear the
something to
quiet
say
quitting
about
that the
that.
young people doing? The quiet
No,
quitting?
not quiet
Because I
quitting.
told my
It's
son,
like
nigga, I wish
straight-
you would. Quiet quitting.
No, let me tell you a quick thing about that and the strategy I did.
uh-huh.
See, because I never worked for anyone and I went straight into business after college. When I came out of college, I was broke. So
As
in the
we all are,
days,
with a bill.
right?
Right.
I had sweatpants on, and I built myself up. It's different if somebody's paying you $100,000 and you got this mortgage payment. It's hard to leave.
Yeah.
But I had nothing.
Hell yeah.
I say that
Gotta have
time.
paid that more, built, got more stuff. So my lifestyle grew with how
you
I
growing.
do business.
Right.
And to me, like what I try to tell folks is that if you really want to do this entrepreneurial thing, I'm not saying that's the only way to do it, but that's a strategy.
For sure.
And the first piece of property I bought was a duplex, so I had rental income while I was,
While
trying
you
to figure
living,
stuff
yeah.
out.
Right.
So that's and I didn't invent that.
He
That
went
was
to Central.
He was talking about the mayor. He went to
I don't
Central.
even want to know why we having this discussion.
man.
He went to Central.
He went to Central,
But
man.
look, that's what all them immigrants did. They came here and they would live on top of their property,
Right.
and they would figure the kinks out, and then they would build up. And we used to do that too.
For sure.
Yeah.
We stopped doing it, but it's a strategy. So
Definitely a strategy.
I'm big on strategies.
I
If
dig
someone
it,
else
man.
figured it out, then I'm gonna go ahead and try to duplicate it and see what I can
So
get out.
you're a smart guy. Before you came here, we were talking about not just the murder rate, but the gunshot rate. Like, we average 8 people shot per day between.
I feel like that should be per hour.
Yeah, per day between Memorial Day and Labor Day. Because you about to be mayor. You got the solutions.
Answers.
How do we?
People to work.
I don't know.
How do we calm that down?
Like, but I'll tell you what I think it is. I think, like, I grew up in the 70s, 80s. I grew up in a time in which we fought.
Love those 70s babies.
We rode bikes across the city.
Right.
We did so much stuff outside. And if you ran into folks that you didn't like, you might have to, square up. But after you did it, y'all would more or less shake hands,
Yeah.
become friends. Or if you didn't, you had enough respect for each other,
Right.
then you left
Right.
it alone.
There's been a lot of talk about like code.
Right.
Right. The code.
Ain't no
Right.
code. Code don't exist no more.
And nowadays, you see these young guys playing out behaviors that they should have got through at 11 and 12, but now they got all this stuff in their head from all this media, and they got access to these weapons. So it is a deadly combination. And until we can start reversing some of that, it's not going to change.
How do you stop
How do
people
you-
from
what's the
living
reverse?
out music that was influenced by movies that was influenced? You know what I'm saying? How do you?
So
Or in some
I'm gonna
cases,
tell you what
influenced
we're
by
doing.
reality.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean,
Right.
Yeah, So part of what
But it's
we
not
do,
everybody's reality.
definitely not
Right? It's
everybody.
your reality you put on the record, and I'm gonna make it my reality. Like that don't make no sense to me.
Well,
So there's something called social learning model. I don't want to get too deep.
come on.
Why not?
Central.
Why not? Just because you went to Central don't mean we don't
So
understand.
that's why I didn't get in. I went to EMS. I'm like, this is why I didn't get in. Okay. Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I went to U City, so you know what I mean.
The stuff that young people see and hear and experience over time, it has a profound impact.
Facts.
And a lot of times we have folks out here who want to act like it doesn't. If
Constant.
you flip it, if you go to a family of black doctors, they've been doctors for 3 generations. If you talk to that little kid, he talking about stuff about being a doctor.
Right.
Right.
It's what he sees. It's
Right.
what he's
That's
around.
what he knows.
It's the vocabulary that's introduced to him. So do you think that when you do all that and it's centered around drugs, that it ain't going to impact that kid?
Look,
Sure.
I was the cat who didn't believe it until I believed it. Right? Because I always just say the same thing. Like, yo, this music don't influence me. I ain't got to be. But
serious?
then I look back on my music collection and you look at the decades, right? And you be like, yo, man, this is where my head was at.
I wanted to be a loop
at
dancer.
these points, right? And
At some point in my
I listened
life.
to the music I was listening to in the early 90s. Like, yo, this is the shit I was doing in the early 90s. Music, mid-90s. It's like,
Right.
so your music reflects where your head was at that point in
Music
your
is
life.
one of the most
I also
powerful
think-
things that human beings that we learn from. Like literally.
Right.
It is.
And definitely black
Right.
folks. Because we just talked about how we don't read.
And people say,
No,
like,
it's
because I'm
honest,
good for
like-
saying I have certain music, it reflects a time, a space, a period in my life. And it's like, it's not that I was learning from it, but I associate the music from that because that's what
Right.
I was doing at that time.
Right.
For sure.
Think about when Chuck D and PE was the vanguard. Everybody
like that we
was
talking about
following.
music.
Yo.
Yes, because that's when I got all pro black.
Right. There's
That's
books.
when I got
There's books, and there's a brother out of Philly, Malefe Asante Jr.
Not the senior, the junior, yeah.
Wrote
Books.
on hip
I
hop.
took classes with the senior.
Okay, but he wrote on hip hop, and he talked about the change when, you know, the corporation stepped in,
yeah.
and pulled out, and so you could see, you know, like I you know, it was, my era was Chuck D. So if Chuck D never got more than like 30, 40 grand in an advance, and then Eazy-E comes up, and he's like, F
how
this,
many
blah,
times
blah,
I
blah,
had this
and he get
conversation?
$250,000 advance, then the young boys that look up to both of them, who they gonna choose?
Let me tell you, the one of the, I won't say the first concert, but it was the Eazy-E. It was the NWA concert that was here at the Spectrum.
At the Spectrum. I
Back
was
in the,
there.
was that 90s?
88.
88,
I
whatever
was
it
there.
was. Kwame was on it. PE was on it.
It was lunch, I think it was like a
understand how the
Budweiser
system works.
Superfest or something. bunch of
And
people on it.
So I came down to see Public Enemy. Got here late, missed it. I was like, how the hell is NWA top billing over Public Enemy?
Enemy.
Like, in my head, I couldn't understand how this music had more value than Public Enemy's music.
As the owner of the corporation putting out the music, who do you want people to be influenced by?
Listen to-
What sells more?
As I got older,
What sells more?
I've understood how it worked. But in the moment, like, and it was funny because when the NWA movie came out, and I think Ice Cube actually came to the station when they was promoting the movie, and I was telling them how I was at that show. Well, not Ice Cube, we was talking about it. I said I was at that show, but I walked out on the NWA set because I came there to see Public Enemy, and I'm like, I miss Public Enemy. It's like, I don't need to see this shit. This shit ain't helping us move any place. Like, but this is where my head was at back then, right?
where your head was
like
at.
this music, like what they're putting out, and I say to people all the time, in my opinion, that was the transition.
Yeah.
It was when
was the
NWA
first
became
transition.
popular.
Yo.
Is when
Talk
we
about,
started headed down
talk
there.
about
That was the
Fire.
first transition.
Wild
Right,
Fire.
First transition.
right.
Because then you got to get into the whole, you know,
Then you move to the
Dirty
when-
South trend and
Dirty
Luke
South
fighting
and
the whole.
music, and
Yeah.
like we can bring it all the way up.
I told you,
to
as smart as I am, I wanted to be a Luke dancer at some point in my life.
Skip over
I
Jay. You can't skip over Jay-Z
You definitely cannot skip over
because
Daisy.
that's the rags and riches story that everybody want.
Right.
Whether it's football, whether it's basketball, whether it's rapping.
And for most people,
That's
it's
the
more
rag, like-
attainable because they're already in the drug
And
culture.
you can still see it.
Or they
You can-
think it's more
You
attainable.
can still see him like thriving in business, and you're like, the story just keeps evolving. Like it's the gift and the curse,
Right.
No pun intended,
Right.
about Jay-Z, right? Because on one hand, it's like, damn, like you look at like the catalog to a certain point, and if you in that lifestyle, you like super influenced, and you're like, yeah, you want like, and then from this point, it's like, that's what we talking about, but it's like, is it too late? Is it too late? You know what I'm saying?
It's not too late. There's people, his fans can't relate to that new level he's made it to. His fans aren't there yet, so they can't relate.
We can't.
His fans are
And they're hungry for it. But he has fans our age that still can't relate to some of the shit he's talking about.
But let me just throw something a little
We
different.
gotta wrap it up.
All right, we got. See, now we're talking about music.
Is Sister
Right.
Khadija in the building?
I think so.
Not yet. All right, we still gotta come.
What up, little man?
What's up, Shorty? How you doing, man?
He like, what up?
Get their head not in the way.
What up, though?
He our next guest.
You know he from Philly.
Yeah, he our next guest. What's
Head
up,
nod.
bro? Good.
All right, I just wanted to say this real quick. So one of the things that we do as a mentoring program is we try to help young folks in just how they view different things, having conversations with them. Because one of the things we found too, it's like parents aren't talking to their kids.
Facts.
Like,
which is so
like,
sad.
Like we talked to our students this summer about
So sad.
Breonna Taylor. They didn't know anything about that. So we need to just have conversations like those dinner table conversations that we used to have years ago. And here's a concept. You don't actually have to be a billionaire to be happy. You don't have to be a millionaire to be happy. There's actually studies that say the salary where you do need to at least make to be happy is like 50 grand. 50 grand, you ain't got to kill nobody.
They lying.
You said they lied.
They lying.
They lied. I was gonna let him rock. I was gonna keep talking, right? Because I mean, we know what to do, right? He sounds so intelligent. I'm just gonna let him keep talking.
Now I'm not, you know.
Trash people out there, bro. 50 grand, somebody might.
Listen, that's what the study.
Man, ain't enough, though.
That's what the study said.
That study
and
wrong.
And that is obtainable. Now, I personally think you can pretty easily get to 100 grand, and you don't have to do nothing too crazy. If you have a young person that's 20 years old making 50,000, we already said that you got whole families making 30 grand.
Right.
So trust me, they could make it off of 50 grand.
Right.
You got to convince them of that because at 50 grand, it's
But that's the problem.
tax.
That's the
Because that's my son's complaint. I say you don't got no kids, but don't have
Right.
because you don't got no kids, don't have none.
But you don't understand how up you are.
That's what I keep
That's-
trying to.
you don't
but
understand
you
how
up.
up you
Definitely
are.
making 50 grand at 20. You
and if
up.
50
Yeah,
grand,
kids,
is he
all right.
maxing out his IRA? Because most young people they don't even know what it is.
Look, you talking. Now you talking this foreign language. Like, you know what I mean?
This fool is cryptocurrency trading. I need to send him to you at 23. That's what I need to do.
But it ain't nothing wrong with that. Yeah, it ain't.
The whole
No.
thing is an equation, man. We didn't have enough time. You got to come
That's why
back.
my 15-year-old going to come through your doors. He got
Yo,
next.
I love this program.
He got
Man.
next.
So you said y'all meet every
And then
Saturday.
my 10-year-old,
Starting
she
this
got
Saturday,
next.
9/24. You can.
Where's it?
We're in University City, 3827 Powelton Avenue.
Okay.
Website,
Houghton
social.
Village.
Website, social, all that.
So our phone number 267-405-1921, 267-405-1921. Website is techcore2.org, techcore2.org. Social, if you go on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, just do a search on TechCore2, you'll catch us. I will admit most of my TikTok is all old school hip hop.
I know I was about to say, what kind of TikTok are you doing?
TikTok.
Yeah, I feel like, shout out to your lady for knowing what gets the kids.
That's what's up. You know, hey, look, Joe, I appreciate you coming through, man.
No problem. I appreciate the
Hey, look,
conversation.
man, I'm gonna put him on the show, man. I'm putting you on the
You need to be-
215, man.
yeah,
We gonna
put me
come
on.
through, man. We gonna-
Wait.
Look,
Hey, Mike,
What's that?
you should put this guy on TV.
I bet, Dame.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
Don't skip.
It's a great idea.
Don't skip the.
He's got a 501(c) and everything,
He got
taking
all that.
donations.
And we need
what I mean?
Taking donations.
information that needs to be spread around, man. Like,
For sure.
This ain't just, you know what I'm saying, hop on our podcast and
This
talk.
is
Like,
keeping the
I
kids
gotta-
away from the
every
guns.
platform, right? Because this keeping kids. This is building lives, building communities, building
And if I can
families,
say one last
saving
quick
lives.
thing,
Go.
we had
Say
15
as many, you can take two last.
We
quick
had
things.
15 high school kids in our program this summer in our internship. We were able to hire 5 of them now for our fall program. One kid actually graduated into college, so he's a freshman now at a community college, so we hired him into a college slot. And then 4 of our high school kids, we created these positions called junior instructors. So they are working underneath college
Look at
students.
that.
So we
Look at
hired
that.
4 of them.
Hey,
So that's a third of that crew from the summer we hired.
Yo,
That's what's
and
up.
lastly, man, the gratification you get when you see that happen, like the kid who came in, because you see where they come in
Yeah.
at, and then you see where they leave at.
Yeah.
Like, what does that do for you, man? Just the feeling you get off of that.
It's why I'm willing to put my money up.
Dig it.
You know, it's why I put the time in. Is you know, I thank God I got a great woman, and she knows when she see me going at it, she give me the time and space to do it because she knows that I'm passionate about it. And you know, if it wasn't for stuff like this, I would have probably never made it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, you know.
So
I
reach
do it.
out, man.
go.
Tech Core 2. Get your kids like in some STEM program and save them babies, man.
And he also got some other
Them
information.
babies.
That's what I'm
So you
here
gotta come
for.
back.
All right, I'm trying to save these babies,
You
man.
know, that is.
And one
you know,
last
my
thing,
last
we
mission.
actually having a tech STEM town hall to bring people in and talk about careers. We got different professionals going to be there.
October 4th.
One of my board members is actually assistant dean of engineering, Villanova University. He's going to be there.
Look at that.
So I mean, we got just powerhouse
I got a
people
Villanova
on.
Connect too.
Okay.
Man,
Okay.
man,
I'm just saying we might be able to make something happen.
he trying to do business on the air. All right, man. We gonna get out of here before, you know what I'm saying?
I can't play the outro. You never gave me the plug.
Perfect.
Wait.
Hey, hold on,
No outro?
No outro.
Did you have an intro today?
No
No
intro,
intro.
'cause we got
No
no
intro,
plug.
no outro. Grand opening, grand
Grand
closing.
opening, grand
You know what I
closing.
mean?
Took usually come in and throw the plug at me. Somebody
All right, so the outro, we can tell everybody to register at
it on.
TechCore
it ain't
2
on the end of the
Yeah,
camera.
Town Hall. That
worry
way
about
he
it.
came in like,
Hey,
what?
what?
He like, it's right there.
There it is.
See, he did his part.
I
You
didn't
just,
even know. Here come the outro.
and then the liquor
The
kicked
show ain't
in.
to say like we can skip the intro.
And then the
Can't
liquor
skip
kicked
the outro.
in.
I mean, he ain't about to be
And
here.
then the liquor kicked
Each
in.
EA can come do the outro
You
live.
can do it live, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he in the hallway.
In the
While I'm
hallway.
looking it up. He ain't even coming in.
Nothing.
No love.
Taking too long, man. We got,
Dude, I gotta look
you
for-
got 2 minutes.
Hold on, but homegirl ain't even here.
Oh, she not here?
Huh.
We can go along?
Not too long. I got a 7:30.
All right, see.
Now we can keep talking if you
Right.
want to
No,
go.
no, no.
He said I got a 7:30.
Oh,
It's
go.
cool, it's cool. You got 7:30.
All right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's what it's the brief. It's just 6 o'clock. It's 6 o'clock.
It's 6 o'clock, yeah.
I'm gonna just throw this out there for
All right, go ahead.
all you Cheney
more thing.
alumni. We just hired a phenomenal young man, Alan Cheney Jr. He's a digital marketer plus digital marketing and business. So we just hired him. He's coming through. Very strong young man.
That's what's up, man. I love it. I love what y'all are doing, man.
We talk about this game, though?
What game?
I mean,
It
yeah, 'cause
starts at 9 o'clock. What do you want
y'all
to talk
losing,
about?
but yeah, I'm sure you're
Talk
like,
about.
I'm sure you're like, wait,
Game starts at 9 o'clock. What do you
My
want?
team was in the trash. Oh, the Eagles play tonight? I'm like, oh, the Eagles play
They
tonight.
ain't giving us
That's
no
what I gotta compete with. The Eagles play
Hey,
tonight.
give the people the outro, the intro, man. I'm letting it rock. Whoop, I went too far. Hold
we're
on.
giving Sunday. 'Cause y'all,
It ain't ready.
It suck. 0-2. Ain't that
Here we go.
Oh,
All
it's
right,
you.
get the people the outro.
Losing by 2. 2 weeks in a row.
Story is the one I'm telling you the story.
I gotta get my card game up.
You don't got no cards?
I ain't got no card.
I got cards. It's just not with me.
Christmas cards with the red, white, and blue and everything.
My cards are green and white.
I'll just text you. Yeah, that's what's up. Yeah, I'll just text 7069.
And I always said it was something
Just touch
special.
me and let's get together, man, and let's
It was something special. It wasn't that when they got the man and the spirits.
I want to make sure we talk.
Then they became a different personality like me.
You think you can make it out? Well, that Tuesday.
But it wasn't in a red format like I used to do.
I mean, I could try to come out and just
it makes me
hang out. I don't know if I can get them to cover it.
No, that's
But
cool.
I'll
Like
let
James
them
Brown,
know.
they used to rant.
You know what I'm saying? But what I will do
Teddy
is
Pendergrass used to rant. Michael Jackson